Yeah, I'm 58 years old, going on 59, and some people say you get better with age, and some things are like a classic car show. And even though the young millennials and stuff like that come in here who are getting into wine, people who are just newbies, if you want to call them instead of millennials, newbies into wine, there's still classics that I think some things are just, you should leave the classics alone and not try to change them. Hi, I'm Larry Baker. I'm a certified level 2 sommelier and a senior wine and spirit specialist here at ABC Fine Wines and Spirits in Sunrise, soon to be North Miami. That's almost a few weeks away from opening up, we hope. Anyway, summertime. I mean, basically, the bottom line is at any time of year, you can drink whatever you want to drink, and I'm not going to stop you. You know, you could drink, if you want to drink chocolate cake and Pinot Grigio, go right ahead. If that's what you like, you like. There's no wrong or right when it comes to pairing. But I think there's some, to us in the som business, but even if we're just like home chefs or just home foodies and things like that, there's certain pairings around this time of year and foods that we eat this time of year that I think that are classic, and I want to at least share them with you, that I think if you haven't done it, you should try these matchups. First, I love this time of year, maybe not in Florida because it's hot, but you know, I like to eat a lot of oysters, raw oysters. I'll be going to France soon, so I'll be having there, but from the cold water oysters right now, from Canada, also from the Pacific Northwest, you can get some wonderful oysters. I'd be careful with the Gulf oysters this time of year in Florida, but oysters, every oyster bar in the world should have a collection of a wine called Muscadet Cervellman. Muscadet Cervellman. This comes from the Loire Valley. It used to be known, this is Domaine de la Chavinière. Muscadet Cervellman, this is like a $9.49 white wine. It's very close to the ocean, so it has that salinity in the wine that you can almost smell. So the brininess of oysters, this is a classic. I've seen 5 or 6 or 7 varieties by the glass of Muscadet Cervellman, which used to be a grape called Melon de Bourgogne, but now they call it Melon de Bourgogne, and now it's called Muscadet Cervellman. This and oysters, it's the only time I ever drink Muscadet. Raw oysters, you don't even need the lemon, certainly don't put any cocktail sauce, but if you put some mignonette sauce on it, perfect. Oysters, pick yourself up a bottle of Muscadet and get yelled at any oyster bar that doesn't have a good selection of Muscadets by the glass. Salads. Most salads are blended with the dressing of any kind of dressing, some kind of oil, some kind of fat, and also some kind of vinegar or acid. And that could ruin a lot of whites, a lot of reds, and also goat cheese. Goat cheese it comes into the category of feta cheese, but especially goat cheese is a very kind of acidic to goat milk, and they do a lot of crusting on herbs. I can't think of anything that is more classic than goat cheese or salad with a New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. This is Stratum. This is Stratum from the Waipara Valley Sauvignon Blanc. I just tasted this wine. This is really on the drier side. Doesn't have too much of that, you know, residual sugar on it, but it's still a very refreshing, because the grassiness and the grapefruit style of New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc, grass and grapefruit. What is grass? Green, right? Goes with salad. Sharp acidity. Well, that'll cut through the vinegar. It'll at least keep the level. You always want to keep the intensity of the level of acidity in your food as you do in your wine. You don't want to go too high or lower, because then one will outshine the other or overdo the other. So goat cheese is an acidic cheese, and the herbs, if you do a herb-crusted goat cheese or any kind of salad with vinaigrette dressing, Sauvignon Blanc, especially one like this from New Zealand, classic. It's about the classics. You can do whatever you want. You can drink Pinot Noir with that, but I'm trusting you. I've seen people reject wines because they thought their wine tasted like vinegar. Hello, the vinegar was coming from the dressing that was in their mouth. Classic food and wine pairing. Extravagant. I love eating lobsters and shellfish and Dungeness crabs, but lobsters are so buttery, and people in the summertime go crazy. Restaurants are running 2-for-1 lobster, Maine lobsters with the 2 claws, even Florida lobster season right now. From the Bahamas, all those, you only get the tail, you don't get the claw. You're talking about a very rich and buttery fit, and I think Chardonnay comes perfect, but not anything. Please, it's not going to work. Unfortunately, if you're a California Chardonnay drinker, it's not going to work. With all that oak, with all that vanilla, it's going to destroy it. It's going to overpower the lobster. You need something that's elegant and soft, that again matches, but also works with the richness, that gives you a good match to a contrast. So I think it's time to go to the white Burgundy, because Burgundy is a region in France. We're going to be there also in that part in France, and we're welcoming back one of the area. This is the only white grape that they grow in France. This is Chateau de Malagny. It's part of a Jonathan Sheikman selection. He's back with ABC, importing with his company Linwood Wine and Spirits. And I was there. I was actually at Chateau Malagny. This is the Forcham vineyard. If Andrew wants to go in closer, you see the Forcham. That's the Premier Cru. There are 23 Premier Crus or vineyards, and that's one of my favorite. You got a lot of fossilized oyster shells in this area, so you get a really crisper style of Chardonnay, but has the elegance, especially this one. I had it with butter poached lobster in this exact chateau. Delicious. 35 bucks, but this is the time to go for it. Not the California Chardonnay with the heavy alcohol and the heavy oakiness and all that. Also, nothing's more elegant than the town of Meursault, which is also, this is Maison Champy. You're talking about 54 bucks here, but a Chardonnay with just the right amount of oak, with the right amounts of elegance, the silkiness that pairs Meursault. And even Polini, any Montrachet is going to be beautiful with, and again, it's Chardonnay is the grape. These are the names of the villages, and lobster classics for lobster. And who can go, who can not say, if you're going to be extravagant and go for the lobster, because they're not cheap to buy all this great shellfish, you can never go wrong with Grand Cru Champagne. Grand Cru is the finest when it comes to non-vintage. Just look for those two words, Grand Cru. This is Charles Mignon. This is their Brut. We have a rosé as well, but I think with lobster, the white is the perfect pairing. $46.99. We always have one cold at this location. I love Grand Cru. What's better than lobster and champagne? I don't know. So I had to throw in a champagne. Salmon, wild salmon's in season. I just bought some from the fresh market, sockeye salmon. Classic. I know you're thinking white wine, you could do it, but to me the classic pairing, especially with wild salmon, whether it's sockeye, whether it's especially Chinook, which is the king salmon, a lot of omega-3 fatty acids, you got to have a good high acid, good acid Pinot Noir, especially from Oregon, 100% Pinot Noir. I just reviewed this wine last week. Melissa Burr and her wine team from the Sustainably Farmed Vineyard in the Dundee Hill, from 6 different clones of Pinot Noir. This is a classic Pinot Noir. Had really good acidity, good fruit. It would cut through even alderwood smoked salmon, any kind of salmon. This is it. I'm telling you, salmon, if you've never had wild salmon and Pinot Noir, it's a perfect classic match. And then when it comes to barbecues, my friends are sending me pictures for what they're barbecuing now. I don't care anything with barbecue sauce, anything off the grill. I think about Red Zin. You can go the California style, the Red Zin, which this is a really good one from Shannon, Clay Shannon, the 2013. This is the single vineyard that he does. This is like an $18, $19 bottle of Red Zin. It's just sustainably farmed. It does beautiful work. I've tasted this vineyard. I have people that just love this wine. Good jammy fruit with barbecue sauce or anything smoky, smoked brisket, all that. And of course, you can go to the original Zinfandel, the Primitivo, Gregory Perucci, the Pope of Primitivo. We always talk about him. This one, he makes others, but this one to me has the most finesse on the 2015 or 16 vintage, either one that's in your ABC stores. Giravolta, Primitivo, the original Zin, same DNA, but I love the elegance of this with anything off the grill. So I think we covered the salads, the fresh salads, we covered lobsters, shellfish, and we covered anything, barbecue. I don't care if it's hot dogs, hamburgers, rib, and we did that. Those are classic summertime pairings that I think you should try. Again, anything, there is no wrong or right, because if you want to find further information, you can look these wines up on our website, abcfws.com, or contact me through the website. But there's no wrong or right. Like I told you, this is just a classic to me, because wine is not for snobs. It's for everyday people like you and me, but even for people who want to try classic wine and food pairings.